Hey everybody, it's Leslie from Discovery Trekking Specialty Fabrics, and today I'm going to do a quick tutorial showing you how to make a very functional headband that's shaped for your ears out of your scraps. So what I've got here is a few finished headbands that I've made previously, and as you can see, the front of the headband has no seam in it. The back of the headband has a little seam. I've bound the edges of the bottom and the edges of the top, but you'll see I've shaped the bottom so that it's not too wide at the front or the back, but it comes down to cover the ear, and this is just really functional. By the way, this particular fabric that I have in this is by Polartec. It's called Thermal Pro High Loft, and it was made for the company Patagonia. They made beautiful pullovers out of it, but they also have this particular fabric in a headband online. They sell it for $25 US, and it's called the Patagonia Retool Fleece Headband. The fabric that we sell, exactly the same fabric from them, is $25 a yard. And based on the measurements, depending on how wide the headband is that you need to make for your particular gifts or for yourself, you can get anywhere from 24 to 36 headbands out of 1 yard of fabric. So that's pretty cool. So I want to just show you a jacket that's made out of this same fabric. It's a beautiful jacket. Again, Polartec Thermal Pro High Loft, and this is the exact fabric from Patagonia. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make a pattern for yourself to make headbands that are shaped. So what you want to do is start out with a 4.5 inch strip of fabric. So right here I had taken a whole bolt of fabric and just cut off a 4.5 inch strip. Then what you want to do is measure your head. So depending on the stretch of the fabric, of course, your measurement is always going to be a little bit different. So you just want to make sure that it's going to go around your head on an angle, be comfortable, not too sloppy and not too tight, and basically that's your circumference measurement. For me, it was 10.5 inches for this fabric. So I made a little pattern here that is 10.5 inches long, 4.5 inches wide, and I made a notation because this is where you're going to put a fold. So basically that's what I did. Now you want to be able to shape it so that it's deeper at the ears. So it's going more like 4.5 at the ears, but it's going to come up to about 3.5 at the front and the back. So what I'm going to do is just make a note. Actually, I'm just going to grab a cutting device here. Wasn't quite prepared. So I'm going to do this on my pattern first. I'm going to fold my pattern over, and this is going to be where the ear is here. So I'm just going to go along a little ways, then I'm just going to go angle up to about 3.5 inches. So that's basically the pattern. Now if I want it to come a little narrower over the ears, just whatever you want to do, you can bring it up a little sooner. There I go. Okay, so now I have a pattern for my ear warmer, and I'm going to just cut this now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind this on the top of the bottom using a cover stitch machine that we have. We're very fortunate we have industrial machines, but you probably don't have one of those at home. So I'm going to show you what you would do. You would take the binding, put it right sides all along the top and the bottom. You're going to sew along a line here. So you basically can just sew the right side of your foot and keep running your foot along the edge. And if you're unsure how to do that, I did a tutorial a couple of weeks ago. You'll find it in the videos on the Specialty Fabrics website, or I'm sorry, the Facebook page, and you'll see how to do that. But you just do stitch a stitch along here with a single straight stitch machine, and then you fold it to the back of the fabric and just grab it, and instead of trying to sew it down from that side, you sew it from this side all in the ditch that you left with the stitch that you made, and that'll catch the back side. But I'm going to sew it on my binding machine. This is a hand size special top and bottom cover stitch, but we've modified it so it has no top cover. It just has 3 needles, and this is nylon stretch binding that we use for a lot of the jackets and things that we produce here at Discovery Trekking. So I'm just going to bind it, top and bottom. This just takes a minute. Now if you were doing this at home, it's probably going to take you closer to, oh, I don't know, 10 minutes to get your binding done. Takes a little bit of practice, but I used to do it that way all the time, and I sure made a lot of these, and they make lovely birthday or Christmas gifts. Very inexpensive, and they're really appreciated because, you know, all you really need is to keep your ears warm when you're out on a windy day. Okay, now I'm just going to clip off the binding, and I'm going to go over to a straight stitch machine and sew it right sides together. I'm just going to match it up. It's really important that you match the edges really well here on the top and on the bottom. That's just to make it look professional. Match the bottom as well. Now I find that my top fabric always drags, and so instead of matching it right at the bottom to start, I always leave the top a little bit back, and then it'll get dragged, and then it's usually pretty close to being perfect. So now I'm going to finish this because I have a serger, and I'm just going to serge it, and then I'm coming back to the straight stitch machine so that I can just tack that serged thread down. Okay, there's my tail, there's my tail. I'm gonna go back over to the straight stitch machine. This is where I get all my exercise during the day. And what I like to do is take that tail, put it down onto the seam, and then fold that seam over. And I'm going to basically top stitch from the wrong side the whole seam, and that'll enclose that little tail. Now the bottom one I'm going to tuck under and then just press down, and you'll see I've got my seam folded over. And you can see when I turn it the right way, it's got a little bit of a top stitch. All the tails from the serging are hidden. Now I've got a nice shaped ear warmer. The seam goes to the back. If you have labels like we do, we normally put a Discovery Trekking label there, but just slips over the head. I happen to have a ponytail, so I can put it out there. And there you have it, a really functional ear warmer, and you can make them any color you like. You can buy the fabric from us, or you can use scraps you have, and I hope that helps you, and I'll see you next time.